Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Masechta Kesubos, Mishna Kesubos, Parak Beis, Chapter 2, Mishnah Beis, Mishnah 2. All right. So we have to start with a big introduction. The introduction is there's a concept called migu.
All right.
Migu literally translates as since. And the concept of migu is the following. This rule states that if a person involved in a dispute makes a relatively weak claim when he could have made a stronger claim, okay, for example, one that is more credible or that gives him more rights, the claim that he is making is probably true. He could have he said we'll call it relatively weak claim. He could have said a better one, and he didn't. The logic is that if he were lying, he would have made the stronger claim. If he's lying, say the better lie. Thus, the fact that he made the weaker claim shows that he's telling the truth. So there's a concept called migu. It strengthens your claim. It's a proof to your claim, and it can make you win a case. Now, we had a case previously, where the man married a woman assuming she was a virgin, and after the first night, he realizes she's not a virgin. So when they go to the Beis Din, so she claims that the reason she is not a virgin is because after the Erusin, after they already were married, she was violated. And he wanted to say, I don't know, maybe yeah, maybe not. And in that case, we spoke about Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Lezer said she's believed, Rabbi Shua said not. And the way we were explaining Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Lezer in that Mishnah was because of the fact that, she's saying that she was a virgin when the Erusin took place. He's saying maybe not, or he's saying maybe you're cohabiting with somebody before the Kedushin and you tricked me, and the whole thing's a mistake. Now, Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Shua, Rabbi Lezer, and Rabbi Gamliel, the way we had discussed the Mishnah, believed her because she has a cheskas psula. She has an assumed status of being a basula. She was born that way, so we tell you she remained that way until we realize not. Plus the fact that her claim was certain and his claim was not certain. And Rabbi Yeshua said, not enough to take the money away from him. Not enough for her. Her claim is, so now, if you're going to divorce me, you got to give me 200 zuz, because you married me a psula. And according to Rabbi Yeshua, that argument is not enough to go ahead and say that she can take the money from him, that she should be believed to take the money from him. Now, this concept of migu that we just mentioned could have applied there too, because she claimed that after Erusin, she was violated. Now, when she makes that claim, based on what she's saying, she can never marry a Kohen again. Because if she was married to someone, and she was even if she was violated, regarding a Kohen, she becomes a zona. Anytime she had a forbidden cohabitation, she didn't do anything wrong, it wasn't her fault. But anytime she has a bia asura, she has a forbidden cohabitation, it's a forbidden act, that will now disqualify her from marrying a Kohen. So by making that claim and saying that's why she should still get the money, because she was a basula when they got married, but she was violated, so she now disqualified herself from ever marrying a Kohen. If she was lying, she could have made a better claim. She could have said, you know why I'm not a virgin? For a different case, Mukas Eitz. I was wounded by a piece of wood. I didn't do anything wrong. If a woman loses her virginity because of an injury, not because of cohabitation, she's not forbidden to a Kohen. So if she was lying about her claim, she could have said a better lie, a lie that would have put her in a better situation. She could have claimed she's not a virgin because she was wounded by a piece of wood. So the fact that she didn't claim the better claim should give her a migu, should say that should be a proof that her claim now that she was violated after Erusin, after the marriage took place, that should be believed. Rabbi Yeshua still says she can't take the money. She's not believed. So the migu, migu is not going to go. You're not going to, even though there's a concept of migu, but in this case, basically, where she's trying to take money away from the guy, she's trying to say that you owe me more money than you claim. She wants to take a certain amount of money away from him that he's arguing about. The migu is not going to help, according to Rabbi Yeshua. Meaning, even though, again, she has a certain claim, he has a doubtful claim, she has a migo also, she has a chazaka also. None of these help according to Yeshua. But for our discussion, the point is, in that case, the migu didn't work. Now, Mishna Beis reads like this. Mishna Beis is going to tell us where Rabbi Yeshua agrees that the power of migu would give her would her the day. Umayd Rabbi Yeshua b'omer lachaveira. Now, this case has nothing to do with what we've been talking about till now. Nothing to do with marriage. Nothing to do with virginity. Complete different discussion. Umayd Rabbi Yeshua b'omer lachaveira. Yeshua agrees. Like someone says to his friend, "Sada zu shalavicha haisa. This field belonged to your father. Ulakachtia hemenu, and I bought it from him." So here's the case. There is a man sitting on a piece of land. He's working the land. He's living on the land. That's the case. Okay, that's the case. All right. And the person comes, now another person comes over to him and says, "Hey, that was my father's land. And he just died. And I inherited it. So that's my land. Get off. You know, you shouldn't be on this land. Get off." And now, clearly, there's no witnesses to any kind of transaction or anything like that, because that would solve everything, right? Mm-hmm. So there's no witnesses. All right. So when this guy claims, you know, this is my land, get off. What does he say? He says, "No, I don't lose your father's land, but I bought it from him. I bought it off of him." Okay. So now he's claiming that it belonged, I admit, belonged to your father, but I bought it from him. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, based on that claim alone, who should win? Who should be the one who wins this case? The answer is the person claiming it's his father's land. Because when you go ahead and you admit and say, "Yes, it's your father's land, but I bought it from him," based on that claim alone, the rule by land, if people argue on a piece of land, right? If I argue on that watch and I say it's my watch, and you say, "No, it's mine," who wins? You do. Why? Because possession is 9/10 of the law. Mm-hmm. Or in Gemara terms, whatever is within a person's possession, that we assume is his until you prove otherwise. Okay? Now, so what do you do by land, right? Land is not in your pocket, right? What goes by land? So land essentially follows who do we know was the last owner. Two people are arguing over a piece of land, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know who it belongs to, right? If we find out that it belonged to one person beforehand, right? And the other guy's saying, "I bought it from you," mm-hmm. Who would we follow? The guy who says the guy who everybody agrees used to belong to that land belonged to him. That's where it should go, right? I don't have what another case would be, but we'll see soon another case where it would be.
We're assuming we know that it at least originally was.
So in a case, as we're going to see, in a case where let's say we know for sure, right? Yeah. We have witnesses, we have documents, we have whatever. We know for sure that that this belonged to this guy mm-hmm. beforehand, or belonged to his father beforehand. Mm-hmm. There would be nothing to talk about. Right. He would be the one getting the land. He'd be the one getting the land. Okay. But in our case here is a little bit different. You see, there is no proof whose land it is. There's no proof, right? Mm-hmm. So what the guy sitting on the land says, "It was your father's, but I bought it." The other guy says, "No, you didn't buy it. Mm-hmm. It's my father's land, and you didn't buy it." Okay? This guy could have had a better claim. The guy who's sitting on the land now could have had a much stronger claim. You know what his claim would have been? It wasn't your father's, it's always been mine. It was never your father's, it was always mine. There's no proof otherwise. Mm-hmm. There's no other proof otherwise. The only way we even know, the only way we even have the basis to say that it belonged to this guy's father is because the guy sitting on the land admits to the fact, but he says, "But I bought it." Okay? That sounds like amigo, right? I could have said a better claim. If I was lying, I could have said a better claim. And the better claim would have been to say it was never your father's. And if you say that, and you don't have proof, right? You don't have proof it's your father's. I say it was never his. Why would I be taken off the land? I wouldn't be taken off the land then. You have no basis that it's yours. I'm here now. Okay? And therefore, why take it away? But he didn't do that. He went ahead and he said, no, it was your father's, but I bought it from him. So he put himself in a harder situation. He made a much weaker claim. That claim wouldn't have won him the day. The other one would have won him the day. The other one, if he would have said the lie, and he would have said that it was never your father's, he would have won the day. But he didn't do that. He went there and he said, it was your father's, but I bought it. Says the Mishnah now that even according to Yeshua, that in the case before that we started off with, the migu doesn't help. Meaning the fact that a better claim isn't going to make the person who had that proof of the migu, that he could have said a better lie. It doesn't help for that person to win the case. In this case, it will. Why? So Mishnah says, Shehu Neman, that person claiming that I bought it from your father, that was your father's and I bought it, is believed. Why? Sha'pesha asar hu apesha hitter. Literally translated, the mouth that forbids is the mouth that permits. In this case, we call him the person who's on the land saying, I bought it from your father. His pesha asar, his mouth forbade him. That means to say, if he would have said this claim, if he would have said the other claim, he would have been scot-free. He would have won the case. He'd have a piece of land. We'd have no way of knowing any other way that it could have belonged to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And the only reason we know it is because he said so. Because he said so. He put himself in that situation where now he actually would be losing the case. That means the only way that we know anything that should take this land away from this guy is because he said so. Then we say, Pesha Asar, the mouth that forbade, Pesha Hitter is the mouth that permits. Mm-hmm. To keep basically, we can explain this as a much stronger migu. The proof of the fact that if he was lying, he could have said a better claim, mm-hmm. is that in this case, he could have really had a better claim. Because in this case, if he would have said it was never your father's, he would have stayed on the land.
And he would be the original person standing there, so...
Well, I don't call it original, but I guess call it original. Or we don't know any other way. We don't know anything else. But the thing is, so going back to the other case, right, in the case where she said that she's a virgin because of the fact that she was violated after her marriage, right? So what was her better claim? I was wounded by a piece of wood. What would it have done for her? Would that have gained her the 200 zuz she's trying to get? Not according to Yeshua, it wouldn't have. Yeah, she could have had a better lie because of some other external issue about being able to marry a Kohen or not. But the case in hand, more plausible. For the case at hand, with her argument, which is about the money of the 200 zuz, according to Yeshua, she wouldn't win it. So there's no Pesha Asar there. There's no point there to say, well, we only have an issue on her because she brought it up. No. That's not the case there. The case is that he was supposed to marry as a virgin, right? Now she's admitting she's not a virgin, but the basis to say she's not a virgin, which is that she was violated, doesn't really get her very far regarding the claim. It's rather regarding the argument at hand. Regarding the argument at hand, Yeshua says not going to help you. She cannot collect more money. Okay, the better claim there would have been that happens to be that for call it external reason, if she was lying, she could have said a better lie, a lie that would have been more advantageous to her regarding being able to marry a Kohen. But nothing advantageous regarding the case at hand about either she is a virgin or not, to be able to collect 200 zuz. But in our case, in this case, or the case with the field, this guy, if he would have said that this field was always mine, it was always mine, always in my family's, right? He would have won the case. And therefore, the fact that he didn't use that is a much stronger proof to the claim that he says now, that I bought it from your father, and therefore he's believed, even according to Yeshua. Then the Mishnah concludes, now, let's say there are witnesses that it belongs to the father. Mm-hmm. He has proof to it. And then the guy claims who's on the land now, he said, I bought it from him. Ain't a numbin. He's not going to be believed. Why? Because we don't need him. There's no basis for him. You're not going to say he could have said the better lie of the fact that it belonged to me. There are witnesses. There are witnesses there, right? Wouldn't it have helped you a thing? That claim wouldn't have helped to say I could have made that better claim. Mm-hmm. We could have made it. There's witnesses to the fact.
Yeah.
And if they're witnesses to the fact, you knew they were witnesses to the fact. That's how they're witnesses. And therefore, you could never have claimed that it always belonged to you. And therefore, you don't have the power of the Pesha Asar. You don't have the power of the fact I could have, if I was lying, I could have said it's a really good claim. You couldn't. They were witnesses to the fact. And therefore, in that case, he's not going to be believed.
Because you could have, the only thing you could do is impugn the witnesses.
Well, and that's not necessarily, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
All right, we will stop here and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.